Okay, so the housing challenge. It feels like it's just constantly there, doesn't it?
It really does.
Especially when you think about the more vulnerable populations and, the usual ways of tackling it. They often seem like, well, like they're falling short somehow.
Exactly, like putting a Band-Aid on a much bigger issue.
Right. But what if there's a different way? Something, innovative that helps with housing and is actually a smart financial strategy.
Well, that's pretty much what we're diving into today.
Ah,
Yeah, this
okay.
deep dive is really about exploring a model that connects social impact with, well, real financial opportunity.
Yeah.
We're zeroing in on special needs housing and a pretty unique way to think about passive rental income.
Got it. So our mission here is to kind of unpack the key ideas, mainly looking at some recent news involving Robert Flowers and this big new affordable housing community down in New Haven.
Right.
We want to show you how these kinds of projects are doing more than just housing people. They're really transforming lives, building inclusivity, and interestingly, creating these opportunities maybe you haven't considered.
So yeah, let's start with that big news you mentioned, the NHP Foundation.
Yes, exactly. They're a nonprofit, right?
Yeah.
Focused on affordable housing.
Preservation and creation.
And they've just announced this $30 million project, Curtis Cofield II Estates in New Haven. And the buzz around it is that it could actually transform lives. Pretty big claim.
It is, but it looks like a really solid blueprint.
Huh?
It shows how you can take special needs housing, housing that's specifically designed and supported for folks with disabilities or different care needs, and combine it with these passive income models.
To tackle the housing shortage.
Yeah, exactly. It's a way to address these really complex housing issues with more holistic long-term thinking. It feels like a real step forward.
And the impact, it sounds pretty wide-ranging. It's not just, four walls and a roof.
No, definitely not.
They've apparently designed it very carefully for different kinds of families. We're talking, what, over 100 affordable units?
That's right. Over 100 units, each one representing, stability for someone.
And the location seems important, too.
No, absolutely critical. Its location, being close to essential services, that makes accessing support and just daily life so much easier for residents.
Right. Convenience is key.
And they're thinking long-term, too, with sustainability, eco-friendly building methods, energy efficiency. It's designed to be, well, sustainable environmentally and financially.
That focus on design and services, it really highlights something bigger, doesn't it? This push for genuine inclusivity.
Yes.
Especially with special needs housing. There's definitely a growing focus in society on making sure everyone, including people with disabilities, has, good, dignified housing options.
Absolutely. And this Curtis Cofield project, it seems to directly reflect that commitment. It's really an effort to provide housing that actively helps people live independently and be part of the community.
And you can see that in the actual design features.
Yeah, apparently so.
Yeah.
Things like wheelchair accessibility throughout the community. It's not just tacked on, it's built in from the start.
Foundational.
Exactly. And beyond just the physical setup, there are specific services, amenities, programs aimed at diverse needs. Things designed specifically to encourage social interaction and, inclusion.
So it really goes beyond just shelter. It's about building a real community feel.
That's the goal. Yeah.
Okay, so we see the social impact, the thoughtful design. But a project like this, Curtis Cofield II Estates, $30 million. It doesn't just materialize out of thin air.
No, definitely not.
How does something like this actually happen, get off the ground?
Well, that's where public-private partnerships become so important.
Ah, okay. Makes sense.
Yeah, initiatives this big, they almost always rely on collaboration. Different groups bringing their strengths together. Maybe the city provides land or tax breaks, while the private sector brings in capital and development know-how.
So it's like a synergy. They pool their resources.
Precisely. And that means, better funding options, smarter use of resources, and importantly, more community input during the planning stages.
That community engagement piece feels vital.
It is. And these partnerships, they also tend to mean a longer-term commitment. It's not just about building it and walking away. It's about making sure the project stays sustainable and effective for years to come.
Turning it into a lasting community asset.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got the social good, the community focus, the inclusivity. But there's another angle here that's really compelling, the financial side. You mentioned passive income earlier. So investing in projects like this isn't just good for residents.
Not at all. It can be incredibly beneficial for investors looking for passive rental income streams.
Right. This is that profit with purpose idea you hear about sometime.
It really is the perfect example. A reliable income source that also directly contributes to something positive in society. It's a powerful combination.
What about for an investor, though? Sometimes you hear concerns about special needs housing maybe being, I don't know, more complicated, or maybe the returns aren't as high. Does this model address that?
That's a really good point, because those are common assumptions. But what this approach shows, especially when you look at firms like Flowers and Associates,
Okay, yeah.
they demonstrate you can get that steady income without the usual day-to-day landlord headaches. Plus, there can be tax benefits tied to these kinds of real estate investments. And it creates pathways to, grow your investment portfolio in a meaningful way.
Okay, so let's talk about Robert Flowers and Flowers and Associates then. You mentioned them. They're specialists in this.
Yes, very much so. Award-winning, actually, with over 15 years focused specifically on special needs housing.
And their model, this profit with purpose thing, how does it work practically?
Well, their approach is pretty unique. They essentially help landlords generate passive income by connecting them with nonprofits. These nonprofits need housing for the adults with disabilities they serve.
Ah, I see. So Flowers and Associates acts like a bridge.
Exactly. They find suitable properties, make sure they meet all the necessary accessibility and support standards, and then they lease these properties to the nonprofits.
Okay, so the landlord's tenant is the nonprofit itself.
Right. A stable, established nonprofit, which means the landlord gets a reliable, long-term lease payment, often without ever having to deal with finding individual residents, vetting them, managing turnovers, all that typical stuff.
That removes a lot of the hassle factor.
It really does. Flowers and Associates, property rentals, specializing in special needs housing, they've really refined this model. They're a clear leader in making this work.
It really shows how you can align financial goals with, well, doing significant good.
It's a fantastic blueprint for impact investing, truly.
So wrapping this up then, what's the big takeaway from our deep dive today?
Well, I think it really shows that these huge societal challenges, like affordable housing, like inclusivity, they can be tackled with creative thinking.
Right, through these models that blend things together.
Yeah, blending social impact, smart investing, and these crucial collaborative partnerships.
Yeah.
It creates a situation where, ideally, everyone benefits. A real win-win.
And thinking bigger picture, it kind of makes you reconsider investing, doesn't it?
It does. It prompts that question. What if your investments didn't just grow your wealth, but actively helped build stronger, better communities?
Yeah.
Embracing these profit with purpose models could really shift how we think about traditional investment. It opens doors to financial security and real positive social change. Something to definitely mull over.
Absolutely. And for anyone listening who wants to, dig deeper into this specific model, we should definitely mention Robert Flowers' book again. It's called The Joy of Helping Others, Creating Passive Income Through Special Needs Housing.
Right. That's a great resource.
It gives a really comprehensive look at how this all works, and it's available now on Amazon.
And for ongoing insights, his podcast is worth checking out too, the Passive Impact Podcast. You get more strategies, real stories from people doing this work. It's a good listen.
Excellent suggestions. Lots to think about there.